teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. It's a bit of an unusual time for me to be filming. It is currently 10:59 a.m. and I am not in my morning classes because the Emir of Kuwait has unfortunately passed. He's been sick for about a month, and out of like respect and a show of solidarity, our Sultan has decided to declare 3 days of mourning. So all the schools are closed until Tuesday. Now, we've got Foodie's latest video trying to get weight loss surgery in Canada. Man, she's gonna have to try harder than she's currently doing, put it that way. Now, I do apologize because a good way to preface this video and my thoughts on her chances of success would have been to show the grocery haul she did, which I hadn't realized she'd done. So on the end of, I think it was the first live she did, she said bye and I shut down the video because if you remember I was quite busy at that time still doing reports. Mine were actually due today, but given that we're off for 2 days, I've got one more set of marks to put in, which is fine now because we're not going to be in school. But I was in a bit of a rush and I didn't check to see what came next. I assumed it was just her outro, and no, she did a grocery haul, and it was all like, she didn't mention the big block of cheese she had in there, but it was cheese, it was canned ravioli, which also contained pork. And when I went back and watched it, she was like, I checked the ingredients, but there's pork in the ingredients. So obviously she didn't check that hard. I don't know why she would put that on video though, because it's not like her audience isn't known for checking details. And her approach to her health has been generally lackadaisical, shall we say. She does seem to have completely given up on the whole eating healthy thing. I think it's likely the idea of now it's going to take so long for her to get in with a doctor. She's got this mentality of, well, I can diet before the doctors and I can fix any damage I do. It's only for X amount of time. But we'll get into that as the video goes on. Now, connected with this idea of her just not caring about her food anymore, she was in the chat in Salah's gaming channel, and she was talking about some of the things she bought and how she bought expired cheese wisps, which seems like a terrible idea on so many levels. But it was interesting because that was specifically a food that she had said she can't control herself around. If you remember when she did the haul in Kuwait and she was like, oh no, these chocolate bars are for Salah, but also I could have bought these cheese wisps, but I chose not to bring them into the house because I eat them all in one sitting. And then she brought them into the house as soon as she got to Canada. She did put out a community post recently saying, I'm going to take a short break from YouTube. And then quite soon after, okay, problem solved, I'm back, or I'm coming back. Now, I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. She did say problem solved, so I think she had to get around something first, but what that is, I'm not sure. I had speculated maybe she was staying in a hotel last time we spoke. That makes me think maybe staying with her mom. Did the community say that she couldn't stay with her aunt for some reason? I feel like her aunt, the rules of her aunt's apartment, she can't stay with her. I might just be making that up. My memory is hazy on this fact, but I feel like there's a reason she can't move in with Aunt Phyllis. But I would not be surprised if she is staying with her mum. I'd be shocked that her mum let her for a start, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was on the condition of absolutely no filming at the apartment, or absolutely no filming in any way that could identify them. Because after all the stuff that went on with that other guy, was it Marty was his name? Was it? I feel like it was Marty. I was like, Michael? No. I'm sure they had enough with him getting all up in there to tell her, no way. And she does blur out the background, and we've only seen her sitting in her car. So she does say, no, I want to keep my privacy, in a way that implies, oh, I don't want you to know what hotel I'm staying at, but I feel like it's probably her mum's. Which I realise is a change of heart, but I just don't think she'd go to the effort if it was a hotel. She just wouldn't care that much. All right, let's just get into this though.
Hi guys, before I start today's video, I wanted to show you what I had for lunch out yesterday.
I'm sure this is gonna end well.
So I went to a restaurant,
Right.
and they give you this soup for free with your meal.
Okay, so a white pasta and a white cracker, starting well.
Comes with it. Whatever you order, homemade chicken noodle with crackers, so comforting.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so it might be chicken, but potato, deep fried battered chicken, some kind of syrupy sauce, honey based maybe, and coleslaw. I feel like there were better choices to be made here. It's fascinating in a really morbid way, which is I suppose why we're all still watching, how quickly she forgets how scared she was.
And these chicken strips and fries and coleslaw, all homemade with honey.
All homemade. Do you think your liver cares? Do you think your organs care? Oh no, this didn't come from Burger King. This was homemade. It was deep fried by a chef in an independent restaurant, so we won't fail. It's deep fried white carbs and sugar, friend.
Garlic and a side of gravy. Oh my gosh, you guys, they were so juicy and big and delicious.
And big, yeah.
Yum, bismillah. Well, hello guys, welcome back to another video.
And this is the background, she's blurred out. She is filtered to fuck. I know it's not a surprise for anyone, but there we are.
In my car in the middle of nowhere.
People were comparing this shot to, completely forgot my words. That hasn't improved. We are still at the end of term, even if we've got an unexpected 4-day weekend. They were comparing this video to filtered shots of her in other videos, recent videos, and her face looks very different. The shape of her face is very different. Now, partially that'll be the angle and how the filter is setting up the angle, and partially is the fact she's not as covered with her scarf anymore. But remember, when she tells you she's confident and she doesn't care and she shows everything on camera, that she's still doing this, and she was horrified when her thing came undone and her chin came out.
So, as you know, I've come to Canada in hopes of starting a weight loss surgery process.
So far, it's going really well.
I'd like to start by getting more information. But I want to share, I'm not going to say which clinic, weight loss or bariatric clinic I go with.
You have no idea yet if you're trying to get it through the system.
Or whatever. But I'm going to share the process with you from beginning to finish, because it's, a lot of people have had it, and I like...
Full disclosure, I've had it.
The idea of sharing experiences, with others. And that's the whole reason I would share a lot of struggles I've had in the past with certain things I've gone through medical.
This is going to be a problem for her, because even though we talk about her self-diagnosing a lot, and then she comes back, well, I've got medical records. There was some talk over whether the medical records would be accessible to whoever she went through, because apparently the systems aren't well connected from province to province, so it might not necessarily be visible. But a lot of her previous health concerns and her mental health concerns around food, which she has been very vocal about on channel, not always accurate about, but vocal about, would be a massive problem when she's trying to get weight loss surgery. Because when it comes to supplying it for free, they want to make sure you've got a good chance of success. And it's very likely that even if she got through the beginning of the process, that she would have to do some other work first before she gets referred for the surgery. If she ever gets a doctor, for example, they might say, well, before I refer you for this, because it's dangerous if you don't follow the instructions, I'd like to refer you for mental health help. And she would have to go to those appointments because she's been referred a number of times and she's been non-compliant every time.
Or whatever. So for those of you who don't know, weight loss surgery, I think gastric sleeve and Roux-en-Y
I had the sleeve.
Gastric bypass are covered by universal health care here. I'm in Ontario, Canada. Now, the downfall with our healthcare system
is people like you don't pay into it.
It is universal, and the surgery is covered by that. So, the only thing is that there's a wait time.
That's not the only thing. You have to qualify for it. And I have known people in much better condition than her, mentally and physically, either have their surgery denied or have their surgery delayed due to their issues.
Right now, some hospital ERs have a 20-hour. I think that's unprecedented. It's never been that high. But the weight loss surgery, I think it's could be about a good year and a half, maybe 2 years. It just depends.
I would think it would actually probably be longer. I remember, I was having mine a while ago. I had mine done in, when was it? I want to say 7, 8 years ago now. Maybe we're on 7. I think my last anniversary was 7. And I chose not to have it through the NHS because I could have applied for a program there. And even then, before all the other strains on the system that COVID put in a lot of places, the initial program had like a tiered system, and it could be a year. It could be a year, year and a half, and there was no guarantee you would get it. So I think, if anything, with systems being more strained than they were, it would likely be longer if she qualified at all.
Because each step you have some testing you have to do. And I don't know, I might be able to skip the sleep study one because I have sleep apnea and I've been having it treated.
She has been, but usually they will insist on one anyway. But that's just one test.
With the CPAP. By the way, that CPAP should have its own passport because at this point, why am I spitting? This point, it's been to more countries than most of my haters.
Not this hater, darling. Also, you have been to 2 countries. Well, if you count driving over the border to America for fast food, you have been to 3. So you've got Cuba and you've got Kuwait under your belt. Come back to me with a few more and we'll talk.
Anyway, so I just wanted to share a little bit of experience today I've had with that. The first step, of course, is to, and one of the criteria, I should say, that you need to meet in order to get weight loss surgery is you need to be referred, right?
Yes, you do, unless you go private. So when I did mine, sorry, this was the point I was making with the NHS and the tier system and all that. One of the things about that, because it is offered at no cost to you, is that you don't control the timing. And this is a problem Chantal is going to have among her many others. And I chose to go private for mine because of that. Because at the time, I thought I would have the surgery and then I would go back to working in the September because I had my surgery done in the February. I had a job in Indonesia and I worked there for 2 years. I'd come in December as like a replacement for someone who didn't work out. And I was meant to finish that school year, but that was the school that augmented my reference letters that I'd sent them to lie about my experience by 6 months to fit the criteria and then expected me to lie to immigration. The stories. So I quit that job in the following December. So I was there for 2 years and decided instead of going straight into another job mid-year, I would get the surgery done while I was there. And then I ended up going and getting my master's afterwards. So I just spent like 6 months in the UK after surgery, getting all that prepared and just focusing on my health. Anyway, you don't need this big long story from me, but the point of me saying this is the reason the NHS wasn't suitable for me was I didn't know how long that system was going to be, and because I was expecting to move, I wouldn't be in one place to be able to continue appointments, and it was just going to be really difficult. So I ended up saving money, going and getting the surgery privately, and that worked out better, which would be a better option for her, but she's completely incapable of the type of consistency required to save money for anything.
By a physician, your family physician specifically, they request who will be following you throughout this journey. You know, you need a physician to monitor things,
Yes.
whatever, medical stuff. But I don't have one. Mine that I had moved to another country. I don't even know where.
Someone remind me, because I feel like at the time, it is hard to get a family doctor in Canada. It absolutely is. My Canadian friend actually had an issue trying to get one for her. She's finally registered now. But someone remind me, I feel like at the time when her family doctor was moving on her client list to whoever, her patient list, client list, I don't know which is correct, wasn't she offered, or wasn't she like said, oh, you can go and register with these people? Like, wasn't it arranged there? I feel like at some point she just didn't go and do something, and that's why she doesn't have a doctor now.
So, since then I haven't had one, and the wait list for some places is 2 to 3 years. It's anyone from Canada will, at least in Ontario, you will know how hard it is to get a family physician. Sorry, my phone stand from my car broke. So that is a big struggle with Canadian healthcare. So
Yeah.
what I need to do is first get referred. So I'm going to clinics, middle of the day, probably not a smart idea as I found out today. Different clinics, usually full, too long of a wait. Like,
too long of a wait. That seems lazy. I'm sorry, I know there probably is hours of waiting and maybe she just can't stand being in the line. But if it's just a case of you waiting and it's this important, wouldn't you just wait?
I don't even know if they can refer me. So I left some voicemails with some bariatric place, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just making calls here right now. So I called a place and asked some questions, and they're going to get back to me. I need to know certain things. There's also the last clinic I just went to had a sign on the door, we're full for today. So basically
Is she trying to get a same day appointment and expecting to get referred? Is this what's happening here? Like, honey, that's not how that works at all. Even like in a place with no waits for doctors, that is not how that works. You don't just pop in. It's not an ER where you go, oh, I have this issue, fix it now. I do also realize that the way she uses ERs is incorrect.
I need to go very early. That's why you see people lining up at the door of clinics in the morning. That's probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's something I need to do as well. But I'm going to keep...
Well, assuming you think it's important enough, Foodie.
Keep trying tomorrow. Tomorrow I think is weekend. So maybe Monday I will stand in line very quickly. Now the holidays are coming, so I don't know how far I'll get, but I'm going to try my best here.
There's a certain lack of urgency in this, isn't there? Like, she's saying she needs to do it. She's like, maybe. Like, she is really enjoying eating all the food that she either couldn't eat or shouldn't eat right now. So her urgency now is completely gone.
Also, I will be going live. Do not worry.
Oh, I wasn't.
I just don't know exactly when, but it will be soon. You know, I'm not going to not go live ever again.
Okay, remember that next time you community rage. I imagine she's trying to find a location that won't reveal anything.
So, anyway, so I guess I'm just gonna have to wait to get referred. I'll share updates with you guys when I have more information, like, you know, what's gonna happen. I hope that a clinic doctor can refer me, because at this point, I don't know how people are getting referrals unless you have a family.
It's almost as if they've got other priorities in your, I would say, free healthcare, because, you know, without your taxes it is. But no, I very much doubt they're going to allow a clinic referral for a chronic condition that's going to need ongoing care. I don't think there's such a thing as emergency weight loss surgery.
Oh my doctor, it's like pulling teeth here where I'm from. Like, it's so hard to get a family doctor. It's ridiculous. And
it's ridiculous. You don't pay into your own system. It's ridiculous. And yes, I know she's on a payment plan for her back taxes. She hasn't even thought about this year's taxes other than to say it doesn't apply to her anymore, which obviously, A, it always did, but B, she's back in Canada now, friends.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's frustrating. It's going to be tough, but hey, at least I don't have to pay thousands of dollars, I guess, to get it done.
No. But either in taxes or private costs.
So, now I know that people are like, some people are just like saying that I made derogatory comments before about the surgery.
She absolutely did.
So, some things that people are saying I said, I need proof of that because
Well, I saw proof from her drunk stream in Cuba, which you would think she had seen enough times at this point, where she was being very derogatory to anybody who'd had it, despite the fact that she has tried to go down this path before.
I remember maybe having an opinion about it and saying, you know, I don't remember saying people are weak if they can't do it, because I feel like I'm weak.
I'm gonna need to find that video off of Twitter. Hang on.
The fact that you had to get surgery to have self-worth, actually, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this. Weight loss surgery is fucking bullshit. If you get weight loss surgery, you fucking hate yourself. It's bullshit. Weight loss surgery is not natural. It's fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. You're going to cut your stomach so you can stop eating? You need to eat, bitch. You need to eat carbs. I'm fucking tired of fucking weight loss surgery. It's a fucking abomination to humanity. Actually, it fucking kills people. It causes people to have nutritional deficiencies. It's not natural. You need to fucking just eat natural for a fucking month and you will feel better. All right? That's what I did. I'm a fucking food addict. I ate natural for a month and you know what? I'm feeling better. And I'm letting it all out when I'm drunk. This is my true feelings.
I don't feel like I'm strong. You know, I don't feel like I can do it on my own. And at the time, maybe I thought that I don't know. If I said that was very arrogant.
Completely separate issue to this, really, but I cannot tell you how much that annoys me. In the sense of, I have family members that do this, right? And it's like, well, I don't remember doing that, but if it hurt your feelings, sorry. Like, fuck off with that. If you don't remember or you're claiming not to remember, then you're not sorry. Because if you're not acknowledging the action, you cannot seriously apologize. Oh, I don't claim to have done it, but yes, sorry, pat on the head. Way to patronize us. I may be taking that a bit more personally than I need to, but come on now.
But I think it was a projection on my part.
She's got so much noise in the filming of this, and I think it's whatever filter she's got, but every now and again something crackles on the screen because she's desperately trying to blot out any line she's ever had.
Because I felt like if I had to resort to weight loss surgery, that I was weak. And
she did not. Oh, I'm assuming at some point in this video I've put the clip in, so I don't need to go into it, but that is not what she said.
And you know what? I think that in some areas people are weak and some people are strong in different areas of their life. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. Everybody has weaknesses and strengths, right? So my weakness is that I cannot control myself around food.
Well, that's probably going to be a problem for your weight loss surgery then.
I have not been able to successfully so far. I think we should use that language. I have not been able to.
We should use that language.
I can't. I have not been able to so far control my addiction to food and my binge eating disorder. And I just think that, you know, people feel bad on themselves about that if they don't have willpower. I think.
What was that? If they don't have willpower. Willpower is important. Weight loss surgery doesn't do it for you. Like, someone compared weight loss surgery once to a ladder. If losing weight is painting a ceiling, are you cheating using the ladder? Does the ladder paint the ceiling for you? No, it doesn't. But do you have to climb it? Do you have to use it? Yes, it does. Oh, the willpower. You've still got to make choices with the weight loss surgery. Every day you've got to make choices.
I think that it has nothing to do with willpower in a way. Like, it's a disease.
It's
a psychological. It's so hard.
Yeah, it does take willpower. Problems with food are huge mentally in terms of, you know, maladaptive coping mechanisms and how we react to them and how hard they are to break those habits and how much help you need to instill new ones. And how even with the surgery, you can gain and you can lose because their habits, all surgery really does, for the first year particularly, is allow you to get out of your own way, to lose the weight while you're still incapable of taking in very much, to change your habits and to get all the foods that you react to badly out of your life. But it's up to you to keep choosing that. That is willpower.
You know, it's so hard. People don't understand maybe until they've had it. And if you...
Well, I've had it, and I'm telling you, you're talking some nonsense.
Been able to beat it, sure, but you must know how hard it is for people.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just down to just stop eating because, I mean...
But it is. The surgery helps you to do that, but you have to choose it.
I mean, people have obviously tried that many times. It's really almost impossible to...
Then why are you trying the surgery? If it's almost impossible for you, and I would say impossible for you even with the surgery, but we'll get into that in a minute. You're making a lot of excuses for someone who hasn't even been accepted into a program yet. If you're so determined to fail, why would they spend the money giving you this? Why would they risk giving you this? Because it's a risk to her. A risk to the point that I don't think she'll be able to get it anyway.
Fight those impulses that come along. So it's not just a hunger pang. It's, it's so much deeper than that.
But she won't get therapy.
So if I spoke in any derogatory way towards it, to those people who've had it, I didn't mean it in
fuck off.
Anything personal. I think it was to do with me that I felt weak, that if I ever had to get weight loss surgery, I feel like defeated because I have to resort to that. The thing is I still feel that way a little bit. I still feel that way a bit.
What, you feel the way that you don't remember feeling?
About myself, not about other people who have it done, about me, for some reason, And I don't know if that makes sense, probably not, but I'm trying to explain it.
You're explaining exactly how you feel with this, but it's not going to frame you in the way you think it's going to frame you. So the reason you think we're going to be confused is because you want to be able to say this and not have any backlash, and that's not going to happen.
I wish I didn't have to have it,
Yeah, well, nobody wants their stomach cut. Sometimes we look and we go, you know what, I've tried everything and I need help. I need help, and this is the help that exists. And that, as an extreme tool, but a tool nonetheless, is the step that allows you to do something else.
I don't even know if I do have to, but at this point, I just want to try to use it as a tool to help me, and also along that with the mental health help. I'm this week coming, I have a lot of dealing with my mental health.
Does she think it's only going to take a week? I got referred to a therapist. We went for an introductory session. I'm done. Here's the thing, so any program she goes on, especially if she gets someone where she doesn't have to pay, which will be a goddamn miracle at this point. Any program she goes on, the moment she is non-compliant, they will kick her to the curb. Do you understand how much demand there is for these procedures? How many limited resources they are? Partially limited because people like her don't pay into the system. Like, they are not going to listen to, oh, well, I wasn't feeling great this day, my mental health is so bad. And they'll just say, okay, well then go to your therapist appointment. And when she goes, well, okay, well then you're obviously not suitable for this program. Bye.
Will be the next step. I itemized what I need to do here.
What's going on with this?
So much.
Why am I on slow-mo suddenly? I don't know what keyboard shortcut I accidentally hit there. Sorry.
I look at my list and I think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do all of this to take care of myself, you know, and be an adult.
Yeah.
Take care of all of these things alone. I'm not alone. I have my husband.
No, you don't. The guy who you claimed was your husband is in Kuwait. You don't have him.
Even though he's not here, we still are in contact literally all day until bedtime. And then
she's blown up his phone.
He's a big support a lot. And then I have my family and some friends and,
Name those friends. I want to hear it.
Also, but I still, when you're dealing with, and I mean, they're really helpful, in a lot of ways. And I'm going to be getting help, especially mental health help. I'm going to try to utilize whatever resources I have. And, I don't know, wish me luck. And I wish you guys luck too if you're going through any of these kind of things.
If any of you weak people are going through any of these choices that you shouldn't need to make, good luck, and wish me luck too.
So yeah, anyway, I'll be excited when I have a referral in. Then I don't mind waiting. Honestly, the hardest part is getting a referral, I find.
That's because you've only done this step and you haven't even done that. And here's the problem that Foodie's always had. It's that dreaming is a form of planning, yeah? So while she's doing this, in her mind, she's already skipped ahead to, so after I've had the surgery. And there's such a process in between. There is such a process in between. And even when I went privately and I could get through that process more easily, she has got a lot to do, and I don't think they're going to approve her. And even if she gets approved, there are things she has to do that I don't think she'll be capable of doing. So let's say she got through all of the pre-op tests. Let's say she went to a therapist. Let's say she kept up her sessions. Let's say that therapist did not say, okay, let's get a longer handle on your BD before we move forward because I don't want you to endanger yourself by binging post-op. And binging will still sometimes happen, but early in the process where you're still trying to heal, you've got a strong possibility of damaging your stomach as it's trying to heal if you try and shove food into it. trying to go through the stages of like liquid, soft foods, all the rest of it too quickly and getting bits of food stuck in the wounds. There's a lot of dangers there. But not even counting the post-surgery complications that could happen, because I do think any therapist worth her salt would, or his salt, whatever, would go, hey, I'd like us to address some of these habits before we look into surgical intervention. And that could be a year or a couple of years. There are certain things she would need to do in order to be as safe as possible on the table. So I wasn't as heavy as her when I had my surgery done. If I had been a little bit heavier than I was, the amount of time I would have to have done the pre-op preparation would have been a lot longer. As it was, I ended up doing, I think it was 2 weeks on a very restricted diet pre-surgery. Now, a lot of surgeons will just say liquid diet or jello. Like that's what you can have for 2 weeks. I was very fortunate because I would have found that really difficult to do, that my surgeon allowed me solid food, but only under very strict parameters. So I was low fat, low carb, which meant I had 2 protein drinks a day. I had one for breakfast, one for lunch. I wasn't allowed more than 20 grams of fat a day. And I was on as low fat and as low carb as I could go. So I think I was on a 20 gram carb limit as well. So I would have protein drink, and then in the evening, I would have white fish or white chicken cooked as plainly as possible, because I also didn't want to have a lot of salt. And then with a side of like spinach, a leafy green vegetable, a salad, something like that, provided I stayed under the carbs. And then about a week into it, I found some low sugar yogurts that fit within the macros I had to be in. And I'd have like a lemon flavored yogurt after it. And that's what I ate for, I think it was 2 weeks. Had I been over a certain weight, I would have had to do that for a month. And I've known people who have been at extreme weights or had other health concerns that might impact it that have meant they've had to do it for even longer. Foodie has liver problems. However she likes to admit it or not admit it at will, one of the things they have to do when you're doing this surgery is move the liver slightly. So it has to be, I was told, floppy, but that's what the diet is for. It's actually not to lose weight pre-surgery. It's a liver reduction diet. And it just happens that the side effect of that is sometimes you lose weight, because you have to be able to move the liver without nicking it. And she's already got issues with her liver. And how she holds her weight would make surgery extremely difficult. She's also got lung breathing issues and she smokes, which means going under anesthesia is going to be very problematic as well. They're going to have to be very careful with her. It's not just her mentality in eating. There's a lot of dangers being on the table. So it's much more likely that if she even got to the point where she was having surgery, which is quite unlikely, she would have a much harder process she'd have to stick to. And I do not see her sticking to that pre-op diet. And when I went in for my surgery, they took a scan. They checked that everything was okay. And they told me, right up until I was being wheeled in, they told me, if we open you up and it's not safe to do this, if we open you up and we can't move the liver, we can't do what we need to do, then we will have to close you up and we cannot do this surgery. So there is a chance she could get to the table and they'd just be like, oh shit, no.
I haven't made it far. I'm sure the surgery is tough too, but
yeah, you think?
I hope that I can do it in a timely manner, like maybe a year, not more than a year and a half.
I don't even think she'll have a doctor in a year.
We'll see.
And I think she'll have at least a year of mental
health.
At least. Which she won't comply with.
Do what I gotta do. Fast, timely.
There is no fast. I don't see her doing this quickly at all. Even in a perfect world where she could get a doctor and she did actually get a referral, she's got so many aspects of her life and she's got records showing she was referred to the eating disorder clinic. They are going to want to address that first. It's going to be years.
Anyway, so that's my struggle right now. I'll just keep you updated on all the health things, because
it's none of our business, haters. You don't get to talk about it. Even if I'm making content about it.
I have my papers here. My purse. I brought my papers with me. Brought my papers along from Kuwait with my diagnosis.
I wonder if she's hoping because the Kuwaiti ones are more up to date, they just won't look at her record.
This is diagnosis, diabetes, because my A1C was, what was it, 11? I think, or 10.
10 or 11, yeah. I will say in a lot of cases, it wouldn't apply to her anyway though, but in a lot of cases when it comes to following a process that gets paid for, if you're under a certain weight but you have a comorbidity, then they will consider you at a lower weight. That wouldn't apply to Foodie, but it's been a long time since I looked into the process because I've had my surgery for a long time, so I don't know what the current ones are.
I think it was 10 or maybe 11, I don't know. I forget. It's on the paper. So that I can have my diabetes controlled here as well, So I'm going to have them review the medication because I think I have more access to better diabetes medication here.
Which is not what she was saying when she was in Kuwait. In Kuwait, everything's wonderful and we can pay to go private and it's not that expensive and we can be seen straight away. And he was just so interested in my history. And I wonder how much medication she's got with her right now because she was expecting to just go and see somebody. She probably stocked up, but there's a limit to how much time that's gonna have. So even if she bought back 3 months of medication, and I don't know what the limits on what she can carry is, but even if she bought back a good supply, it's very unlikely that she is going to be able to get a doctor in place before she needs another prescription. I don't know, maybe if that's something she could go to a walk-in clinic for, I'm not sure.
If you guys are on anything that you would suggest, something that's not, gonna hurt my tummy, like...
Don't ask the fucking internet for meds. What's wrong with you? Like, any random internet troll, if you'd like to tell me what medication to use for my myriad of conditions, please do.
Like the metformin and Genumed, something maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, clearly,
some of the names people were leaving in my comments.
Clearly your comment section knows better than the doctor that prescribed this to you.
There's an Ozempic shortage. I was on that before. There's people suing the company.
Yeah, didn't you stop it for cocaine? Or you took it simultaneously with cocaine and that's why you lost weight?
Right now for getting gastroparesis, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of freaks me out.
I haven't followed that, so I don't know how that case is going, but if she's not able to critically analyze information, she shouldn't be looking online for side effects. Like, she's just gonna scare herself. And yet, oddly, not scared by the other rapidly encroaching health issues she's going to have by not treating it.
So I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you take. But yeah, there's a shortage.
It's a terrible
of
idea to
right
take
now,
advantage.
so that too is kind of... So yes, I will get back to live streaming. Don't worry.
Wasn't worried.
I will most definitely do that. But I just trying to settle in and get things taken care of. I'm so busy.
I'm so busy failing to get into the clinic and going out for lunch.
And I just need some time to myself without filming
I hope she's looking for an apartment because that's another thing she's got to get sorted.
Everything. I'm just like happy to just be not filming as much or going live right now. I just need a bit of a break. It's nothing to do with you guys. I love you guys. I appreciate all your support in the comments. And, sometimes Salah goes live on his gaming channel. It's in the link if you want to hang out with us sometimes.
That's where the talk about not knowing there was pork in the Chef Boyardee and, what was it? Oh, and the expired wisps and stuff like that. So if you hang out there, there might be some information that Foodie isn't necessarily sharing on her videos, but other than that, I wouldn't recommend it.
Also, Tan Salah, he does gaming, like he's playing Resident Evil 4 Remake right now.
Is he playing it, or is he stealing the footage of someone else playing it? Inquiring minds want to know.
It's really intense. But it's just like a handful of us, like a nice intimate chat, maybe 50, 60 people sometimes.
I did hear that she was blocking all the Arabic speakers in the chat, so I imagine it's a few less than it used to be.
And it's fun. We just have fun. You know, I try not to get triggered by trolls. There's a lot of good people in there, and so if you want to hang out with us, that's fun as well. So yeah, I'm just parked in the middle of nowhere. I did miss the Canadian.
In the middle of nowhere that somehow needs the background blurring. Definitely in the middle of nowhere. Definitely by a random house that it doesn't matter if you know.
Canadian wilderness, you know. I used to think the dead trees were depressing, but I just appreciate.
Definitely not directly in front of whoever she's staying with's house.
Hi, Fly. The difference of atmosphere, you know. I tried the Tim Hortons Bailey's line. I had an ice cap. I've had an ice cap since 10th grade. And I know I shouldn't be drinking that stuff.
And yet.
Shouldn't be eating what I'm eating.
And yet.
But for some reason, I just can't. Part of the, one of the big reasons for coming here, obviously, is the getting to eat comfort foods again that I...
Excuse me? The reason that you left the man you claim to love and be married to, and the pet you're missing terribly, was because you were gonna die. You desperately needed to take advantage of the systems that you regularly cheat to get free healthcare. Not to eat all the food that you want to eat unless there's something you haven't told us, Foodie. And also, what do you mean it's a comfort food? You haven't had it since you were 10. It's not like there are some foods that we do see again and again and again. Whatever I happen to think of Chef Boyardee, she has mentioned it before as something that brings back memories of her coming home from school and making a thing of. So, yeah, I can kind of see that connected to her memories. If she hasn't had it since she was 10, no, she just knows she shouldn't, and so her brain goes, have it all.
I've missed. You know, you saw my grocery haul, I got everything junk.
Yeah.
And, no, nobody forced me to do it.
Of course nobody forced you to do it. We were actively screaming at you that it's a terrible idea.
Nobody had a pew-pew to my head and was like, get this.
Fuck. A pew-pew? A pew-pew. Have you been watching FFG? Doesn't she say pew-pew? Have you been watching FFG? What a ridiculous question. Of course she has. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Just say gun.
Stovetop, get this Chef Boyardee's. But... oh man, I want to eat it, I guess, is what it comes down to. I want to have, another last hurrah, like I never learned.
Fast food funerals do not work. And the fact is, post-surgery, you're still going to be able to eat that stuff past the healing process. You shouldn't eat it if you want to meet your goals, but you're still going to be able to.
For all of the comfort foods I've ever had. So I'm thinking of going out eating all of these things.
How about you think about going to the therapist a little bit early and figuring out why you feel the need to be comforted so much? What is it in your life now that Nada's not in it? What is it in your life that's making you so anxious that you feel the need to be comforted? That seems like an important question to answer before you have weight loss surgery.
And doing a story time with each item and why it's a comfort food for me. It might be like therapeutic to me.
Therapy might be therapeutic to you.
Why is it a comfort food? You know, why is ravioli from Chef Boyardee a comfort food?
She has already done that video. She said she used to have it when she came home from school.
And I gotta think of, there's gotta be a story time to each situation. There has to.
There has to be a reason. Therapy! Therapy will help you come up with this reason. Forget story times, which are just going to showcase the fact that you are never going to change. Go to therapy.
Just has to.
You've got to go
Maybe
anyway.
We'll go for a ride somewhere down the long road and bring a bowl of ravioli and do a story time.
The long road is a good place for that. Well done. I'm sure the long road doesn't have any connections to it that might be negative to you.
No, probably not the long road. I don't
Oh,
know.
you
I'm sick
think?
of that road. It's not the same. I don't want those memories.
It's not the same. Has she been down the long road already? It's not the same. She's tried this.
A lot of them, you know? So, anyway, when I do get my own place, like I said, we're going to have a party. We're going to party bees.
Okay, I want her to move into her own place. I want to see her. I want to see what she came up with. Like, it will be more interesting than her trying to hide probably her mom's house from her car. But how long would it take her to get an apartment? Because Pete's apparently mentioned in his live or last video or whatever that they talk occasionally and that them moving in together was going to be up to her. And I was like, excuse you, man, no. Apparently he wants a kitchen again so he can cook, but I'm telling you, you've been burned several times by Foodie. Like, shame on you if you do it again. Having a kitchen is not worth moving in with this woman again. It ended terribly last time. But without somebody else, I don't see her credit allowing her a place.
All right, well, I've yapped enough. Here's my sermon for today.
Okay.
And, but yeah, that's my situation so far with the weight loss surgery. So I'll keep you guys updated, like I said, because there's people going through it, and there's people who have gone through it.
Yep.
And I love sharing. I like that we can all share experiences.
You like it so much, you got drunk and told people all the problems with them having it.
Because we all go through it differently. All right. Hope you have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that's where we are. I'm expecting another video from her soon, now that she's sorted out the problem, because we're already on the 17th of December, which means she doesn't have that long to try and get some good paying videos in. So I'm going to leave you there and we will see what information she comes up with. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.